What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Tuya Knives Blackbeard. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, what we're going to do today is size comparison. We'll check the profile on this, weigh it, and then we'll jump into my thoughts and impressions. Let's kick it off with some size comparisons. First, we're going to bring out the Spyderco Para 3, which I think is a very comparable sized knife, more of that smaller end of medium. And then here it is against the Spyderco Shaman. So again, very comparable to the Para 3. Let's move the Shaman out of the way. We'll grab a budget full-size knife, and that is going to be the Civivi Ball Tusk. And then we'll move the Para 3 lightweight out of the way, and we'll bring in the Migaron Moyarl, which is more closer to what I would say right on that dead on the nose on medium sized. So the Blackbeard coming in on the smaller end of medium, in my opinion. Let's check out the profile comparison on this one. You have to forgive me. This is a slip joint. So profile coming in thinner than the Moyarl. I don't think that is a surprise. Moyarl is a little bit more chunky in most instances, and then looking thinner than the Para 3. Let's check the weight on this one because it is full titanium with a steel lock bar, back lock, not a lock bar, Jorge. All right, 3.5 ounces, pretty impressive. Medium with titanium and a steel back lock. Sorry, said lock back. Let's go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions on the Tuya Blackbeard. I think it's a very unique design. Ergonomically, it fits, but it's a little tight with the way that they have the tail of the handle here curving up. It does want me to slide forward towards the blade handle, but I do fit. I definitely do fit. I would say the best grip is to kind of make sure you choke back up on the pommel there, and then you really got a good grip for all four hands. The contouring on there does help. It does feel confident in hand, and it is a slip joint, so I do like to check to see where the lock point is, and you would have to hit it pretty hard to overcome it. And then I think the half stop right there, so you're not too close to it. It does stop, and then you hit a hard lock here, which at that point on your hand would start to dig in a little bit. So it's a very unique open and close. You got a full finger pull on long pulls on both sides, so you got a nice place to grip onto. I would say it's probably about a 7.5 opening to the mid stop, and then probably about a 6.5 to fully open. So this position here is the strongest. It's definitely like, I would call it an 8 to close, 7.5 to pull, first pull, second pull, 6.5, both ways, about maybe a 6. Yeah, maybe a 6. I would call it a 6. Let's kick it downstairs real quick. I want to talk about cutting. Okay, we're downstairs with the Tuya Blackbeard. Just a cool name for a knife. Let's check this one real quick. I did 5 strops on either side because it is a pass around. Yeah, super thin, even though it is a flat grind, not a hollow grind, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's thin directly behind the edge, and it's a fairly thin blade stock as well. So I anticipate that this is going to perform really well. We'll just go across the grain. This one is a slip joint, so just be careful with that. I always use the back of the handle with my thumb to help with the guiding, and then I just get it as close as I can here. Yeah, what a performer. It's catching up a little bit where the board folded here. I don't think that's really the knife's fault, so let's just go ahead and move that out of the way. There we go. Hopefully that won't affect the performance. Yeah, plenty of bite, nice factory edge. And again, I know I stropped it, but that's just because it is a pass around. When I'm done with the cut test, I'll do that as well. Now, it is a clip point, so it is going to be very high and uncomfortable. Raw cut is really not going to be the strong suit on this particular knife, but it feels good. And the only thing that I can feel is the pocket clip is raised, but I'm not feeling any discomfort. Like, I just can tell that it's there. Very nice. I know it's not a big old cut test. It's a pass around, guys. I really can't do much with it. That's what I've experienced with it. I'll kick it back up to the table to talk about the ergos and everything with the little bit of sample cutting I was able to do for you today. All right, so we're back. It impressed me, for a slip joint with a flat grind that doesn't go the full length of the blade, but it's still a pretty tall flat grind for the size of the knife with a very thin blade stock. Cut very well. It is a clip point, so it's not going to do those utility and draw cuts nicely, but it does, it's got a long section here for those power cuts, so you're going to be able to cut through some thicker materials nicely. It has a little swedge out here, and it is definitely more thin as you get out towards the tip without being too acute, so you do have some nice strength there. Pocket clip didn't really intrude on the ergos during the cutting, and ironically, I felt these little screws here. These little screws, they actually stand, let me close it, try to get you a better angle. They actually stand proud. They stand proud on the knife. So I'm hoping you can see that, but you can feel that. In my palm, I could feel that. I don't know if anybody else has a Blackbeard, but I noticed that. I noticed that my finger lands on it and I feel it in the palm there, like digging into it. So it's an aggressive contouring out here on the edges. I don't know if they could have countersunk these a little bit more, made the screw shorter so they could get a little closer together, but I'd like to have seen that change. And then just a little bit out here on the tail, uncomfortable just because of the larger hands. Now this knife is coming in at $205. M390 heat treated at 60 to 62, so a nice heat treat on there. A little expensive, and the walk and talk is a little weird for me because you kind of feel like did it, and then it hits that half stop, and then it feels very loosey-goosey right here going into this position, and then it locks up hard. So open walk and talk and closed walk and talk feels good, but in between it feels very weird. It feels sloppy here. I think that's the only way that I can describe that. And for me, I don't really like that. I would have just preferred for it to have like normal walk and talk. It does have good spring, so it is moving, but it just feels really sloppy in the middle. I like the heat treat. I think it's a cool design, and the finishes on it are really well done. I would say if you're looking to spend $200 on a knife with premium materials, I'm going to steer you towards the traditional pocket knives Lake Chaplin Barlow. M390, tall hollow grind, Barlow handles, very comfortable. You got a very pronounced half stop, and it's very smooth in between the half and full stop. Very nice walk and talk. You got a good 7. Like they both, actually that might be 7.5. 7.5. Yeah, so a little bit stronger on the secondary pull. First pull to get it out and open is a little lighter, so that does feel really good. You got a really acute hollow grind on here, full 4-finger grip that's very neutral, very comfortable, and you got some options. You got tons of options for the inlays, or you can get the sawed or jigged titanium if you don't like those. So I really like this one. QSP, their slip joint game is awesome. Not as unique looking though as the Blackbeard. The Blackbeard is definitely very, very unique looking for sure, and it's very well made. I think if they offered some other blade shapes, and I think if they got rid of the pocket clip and just made it a slip joint, some people are not going to like that recommendation, and gave it the normal half stops, like plop, plop, like make it bang, 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 like just walk and talk, half stop, full stop. I'd prefer that. Personally, I'd prefer that. I would actually say if this were sheep's foot versus Wharncliffe like the Barlow, and you could leave the umbrella handle here, and you could leave the pocket clip and fix these, this would be really, really interesting in my opinion. Being what it is, I don't really like the slop, and it has a couple little things that are a bit of a miss for me. So for me, I would take a pass on it, but it is well made, and it is impressive with how it performed on the cutting. So if you like this and you think that it's unique with the way that it has the in-between half stops and full stops, this might be for you. Let me know what you think about the Blackbeard down in the comments below. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, comments, is subscribed, and uses those links. And my members, you're going to get that early access to this one. I appreciate all the support. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.